Welcome to this project and progress solo and soaring video, the weekend video. I'm sharing this one because it's near and dear to my heart because there are projects that I'm involved with that I am putting into progress and at different levels. And I'd like to share something of those with you. But also this notion of doing it while solo aging confidently and soaring while doing it. At least I believe I'm soaring. And it is projects that are aligned with my head, heart, and hands. So what I'm going to do is do a little bit more of a formal presentation about what is project, and then to take a look at this notion of progress that's necessary, and then use myself as an example of the solo aging storyline that goes with it and how it helps me in my soaring. So there's a bit of a formal component and then an informal component. Now, with this, I'm going to be reaching out to you, asking you to get involved. But at the same time, if there's a way for me to get involved with what you're doing, I would look forward to assisting you as well. So with that, let's get into the video. Let's dive into the exciting adventures ahead because there's certainly a time of growth and discovery as you thrive solo in your next 50. With this video, I want to encourage you with some practical tips and to get you to jump in and nourish a project that you are wanting to create and to keep you moving forward, engaged in what's happening so that you might achieve through this learning, growing that we can do together. There's certainly that which you will do for yourself. The project that you take up is going to be on your terms with your community. And that means it's going to be important to understand what is a project. And I want to just take a few slides just to explain the basics of project and then go a little bit more into the living legacy life project. So a project is an organization of work, and it is for a reason. And that reason may be to create some specific outcome that you've selected, like write a book, or to deliver a product, service, or experience, like organize an event. And therefore, there is a beginning and end, a very discernible beginning and end. And in that, what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at the maps and plans, the steps and tasks, the resources you're going to allocate, and setting deadlines. Now, what this means is that you are on your unique journey in the project, but to get the project completed, it probably means you're going to adventure together. It's very unlikely that any kind of project will be done totally by you and only you. So you will adventure together with others. So again, just to remind you, there are things like writing a book, planning an event, or maybe even creating a nature awareness campaign in your community. But as we dig into this Living Legacy Life project, there's a little bit more that goes with that. Let's take a little bit deeper look at this Living Legacy Life project. Because with living life, it refers to the impact that you're going to have for the world while you're alive. And it's about how people are going to remember you and what it is that you're going to leave behind it, this notion of this impact. That the key is while you're alive. A life project is a long-term goal, mission that you have that gives you meaning and purpose. It's something that you're optimistic about and you're committed to working on it throughout your life. And so, this notion of meaningful, lasting impact for the world is what a Living Legacy Life project is about. And the key here is for the world, is that you can do things and not think about it on a bigger scale. But what the encouragement here is that your Living Legacy Life project is for the world, for humanity. And what that means is to live the legacy you intend to leave. That's sort of the rally cry around what it means for your head, heart, and hands to come together. It's to pursue those contributions that are going to benefit others. And that could be through volunteering, working in the community, mentoring others, or even creating something that encourages other persons to get into living a legacy life project themselves. And that would be just an absolute treat because you get to educate what you love to learn. Just before moving over to the next section, I'd like to just dot the I's and cross the T's here. With a project and you are meeting your deadlines for the reason that you have selected the project, it tends to be a bit more of a head kind of project. But when you get into a living legacy life project, then I believe because it has a little bit longer term view to it, it brings the whole notion of head, heart, and hands together, it being for the world, and by extension, with the planet and from the whole. So I'm hoping I've dotted that I, crossed that T, and you get it, what I am attempting to share with you.
So let's take a look at four living legacy life projects that are in my radar, in my life at this point in time. I'm doing it to share some examples. It might prompt you, spark you to think about something that might come to the foreground as a legacy project for yourself. And I'm also sharing with you is that if something is of interest and you'd like to learn more about any one of the projects or maybe get involved, or you may have a project that's similar and you'd like me to get involved with you, let's have a conversation. And in the pins section, in the comments below, there's a contact form. Just reach out. Let's have a conversation and see where we end up. So, with these four projects, the first one I would share with you is mentoring as legacy. It is the WELLth Movement program that I have set up. It's bringing together the ideas of mentoring and legacy, something that I have been working on for many years, and doing it under the banner of WELLth Movement, WELLth, WELLth, which is about well being, well living to the nth degree, something I have been interacting with for 30 some years now. Movement is a reminder of the physical aspect of movement up to social cultural movement and bringing all that together. So I often talk about the path of WELLth Movement. That's what I'm walking. Now, the mentoring as legacy as a project is that I'm working on it in such a way is to bring the tools and techniques to the foreground for the business, yes, but is the possibility of selling the business because the tools and techniques I believe are evergreen. And I'm going to hopefully find someone a little bit later on who may want to take this program, might even be called a platform at that point in time with technologies that are associated with it, that they may want to continue on past my use of it on this earth. So I'm going to see what happens, and so it's a business, it's a project, It brings together a couple of really important topics for me. The next one that I want to look at is sort of a sidebar to it, and that is the notion of the international mentoring community. One thing that a colleague and I, so this is a co-created project, said that what would happen if we certified mentors? And I said, well, I've got some experience in that. We could set that up. And he said, well, let's go for it. So we've been quietly working on it in the background over a number of years. We have awarded some certificates, but now I think it's time to bring it more into light and to see what we're able to do with it. So the mentoring as legacy from a project, creating it, and if you take up legacy, and more specifically, you take up mentoring and you want to be recognized for that and gain certification, we have the ability to help you out as well. So this could actually be sold with the other program, the business, or it could be sold separately. That's why I've created a second YouTube channel so that I can bring that to the foreground. The next one that I'm working on is what is called Awarests. Now, this one is about awareness in forests, or in particular, awareness from forests. I've been interacting with forests and the outdoors for years and years. And over time, you'll learn a little bit more about some of the kind of jobs that I've had, and yeah, bring them out and sort of see if they enjoy them, and maybe there might be some connection there as well. We'll see what happens. But connected to it is that I've seen how forests are like self-care companions and living systems educators. So they're very much muse and metaphor. And I thought, well, what would happen if I developed a nature awareness writing program where I can interact with nature? And I did that personally. And now I said, well, how might I bring it out to the foreground? I said, well, that actually links to mentoring as a legacy, using nature as muse and metaphor in the mentoring relationships. And then, of course, nature awareness might become an actual legacy project, and stories that you create and contributions that you make. So there's a bit of weaving together that can take place here and sort of see what happens. This one has a little bit more of a slower roll to it, whereas the other ones, the WELLth Learning TV and the International Mentoring Community connected with mentoring and legacy, I'm bringing those to the foreground. This Awarests one is a little bit more of a slower movement to it, and that's okay. It may shift over is because I will be writing some stories into that, and I'll see what actually takes place. But there's another project I'm working on. Some people call it the memoir, the autobiography. I call it Yikes, Stripes, and Zebra Spots. It's a title I came up with a number of years ago based on the work and travels that I have been involved with, places I've been, places that no longer exist. And along the way, I've written different books about different time periods to remind myself of what it is that happened. Some are prompt books, some are action outcome books. They're not typical fluffy wuffy books. They are actually get you down into, okay, here's actions and the outcomes that are possible from those actions. And I've been also at this point in time, someone gave me a really wonderful high-end scanner, and I have been digging into my 50 plus years of poetry and writing, and the trips and journals from those trips, and bringing it all out. I've been scanning everything, getting it into the digital world, including my baby pictures as well. So this notion of yikes, stripes, and zebra spots, it's going to be filled with snippets, stories, and synergies of sharing the path of WELLth movement. Now, I don't know what form it'll take. Might be a series of books, might be just one coffee table book. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But what I'm looking forward to is actually submitting that book into the National Library of Canada. couple of the books you see on the screen are already there. It's just one of those outcomes that I would like to see for this legacy project, this autobiography. Some call it a memoir, to sort of see what happens. So those are 4 projects that I'm working on. And I do have an ask of you for your involvement, if you are called to it, is I would really love to have emotions for monetizing the Wealth Learning TV channel, the YouTube channel. So I need to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in a year, 365 with the 1,000 or more subscribers. Now, on the screen, you can see some of the basic statistics. What I thought that I would do is each week on a Sunday, this Sunday video, is just report how I'm doing, what's happening, what I'm learning as I go, because you may take up a YouTube channel as part of your legacy project, and there may be things I can help you out with, share, and we cross-reference. One of the great things is the more we create community and support of each other, the better it's going to be in bringing our projects to the foreground and being for the world with the planet from the whole. And then I would look to monetize Awarests. Remember, that's a little bit of a slower movement one. And eventually get to the point that I'm using the money from that monetization as a way in which to fund resource support legacy projects, nature awareness projects around the world. There's a couple that I'm interacting with now, and I would really like to up the my contributions to those projects, and I can explain more about them and even have persons who are involved with them attend and maybe shoot 10 minutes to go with one of these videos just so they get a sense of what's going on. And again, the tips and tricks and techniques and technologies that I'm using to have this all happen, I'll be sharing it along the way on these Sunday videos. Now, if you have questions, you can use the links that are in the pinned comments below the video, and they get you to the contact page. They get you to find ways in which to contact me. But I would also encourage you to subscribe, like, comment, share, and your comments, while they're in public, I can respond to them here. Again, the contact page is more private, but let's get into a bit of conversation. Let's see what happens. How can we help each other to move our living legacy life projects forward? I would so enjoy that opportunity with you. So with that, that's a bit of an update for this video. Look forward to sharing again next week. And with that, take care.